So, you're thinking about becoming a data engineer. You've picked a great time, and you are definitely in the right place. In this explainer, we're going to break down the Level 5 Data Engineering Apprenticeship, what the job is really like, what your journey will look like, and exactly how you'll get to prove your skills at the very end. Let's dive in.
Okay, first things first, let's start with a big question. Think about it. In today's world, from the massive tech giants all the way down to your local hospital, what's the one thing they all need to make smart, effective decisions?
You guessed it, it's data. But here's the thing, raw data on its own? It's messy, it's chaotic. The real magic, the real power, comes from the people who can step in and tame that chaos. The ones who can collect it, clean it, and build it into something that everyone can trust. And that person? That's the data engineer.
So, what exactly is a data engineer? Well, a great way to think about them is as the architects of the data world. They are absolutely essential in pretty much every industry you can think of. We're talking finance, healthcare, retail, you name it, they need data engineers. At its very core, a data engineer's job is to make data usable. You are the one building the digital plumbing, if you will. The complex systems that grab all that raw information, move it around, and transform it into something clean, accurate, and ready to go. You're the one who empowers the whole organization to make smarter decisions. So what are you actually doing all day? Well, it's super varied. You'll be building and looking after data pipelines, automating tedious manual tasks, and writing what are called ETL scripts. That just stands for extract, transform, and load. It's the bedrock of moving data around. But, it's not all just sitting and coding. A huge piece of the puzzle is collaboration. You're a problem solver working with analysts, scientists, and developers to make it all happen.
All right, so now that we've got a handle on what the role is, let's talk about the apprenticeship itself. This is your 24-month journey from being an apprentice to becoming a full-blown qualified professional.
The whole journey is built around a 24-month training period. That's 2 solid years of getting your hands dirty, learning on the job, and really developing all those essential skills and professional habits you'll need to be a top-notch data engineer.
This timeline gives you a perfect bird's-eye view of the path ahead. You've got your 24 months of training, and right after that, you hit something called the gateway check. We'll talk more about that in a sec. And then you move into the final phase, the endpoint assessment, or EPA for short. Okay, let's talk about the grand finale of this whole apprenticeship, the endpoint assessment. Now, it might sound a little formal, but honestly, the best way to think about it is as your big moment, your chance to really show off everything you've learned and can do. To put it simply, the EPA is where you prove to an independent expert that, yep, you are 100% ready and able to do the job of a professional data engineer. It's the finish line, where all your hard work pays off. And when it's all said and done, you can get one of 3 passing grades: a pass, a merit, or a distinction. Just getting a pass means you've officially made it, and you get your certificate. But aiming for that merit or distinction, that's how you really show future employers that you're at the top of your game. Now, before you jump into that final assessment, you have to go through what's called the gateway. Don't worry, it's not a test. It's just a simple, formal check-in to make sure all the boxes are ticked. You know that you've met your English and math requirements, that your project idea is good to go, and that everyone, you, your employer, your training provider, agrees you're ready. So how does this assessment actually work? What does it look like? Let's break down the 2 key parts so you know exactly what's coming. So your EPA is split into 2 main parts. First, you've got the project. This is where you get to tackle a real-world data problem right there in your organization. And second, you have the professional discussion, which is basically a structured chat about your work and your experiences. For the project, you get a solid 10 weeks to work on it. This is your time to really own a piece of work from start to finish, from figuring out the problem to delivering a solution and writing it all up. And speaking of writing it up, your project report can be up to 3,500 words. And this isn't just about listing what you did. It's about explaining why you did it, justifying your choices, talking through your process, and showing off your results. The other piece of the puzzle is the professional discussion. This is an 80-minute chat with your independent assessor. And I know that might sound a little intimidating, but it's really not an interrogation. Think of it more as a guided conversation where you get to talk about your work, your skills, and how you've grown. So let's just recap that really quickly. The project is all about applying your technical skills to a real-life problem. The professional discussion is where you get to demonstrate your broader knowledge and professional attitude. As you can see, the timing is a bit different for each, and you can expect a certain number of questions for both parts.
Okay, I know that might all sound like a lot to take in, but it is so important to remember that you are not, and I repeat, not expected to do any of this on your own. Let's talk about the incredible support system you'll have.
This is probably the most important message of all. You are not alone on this journey, not even close. There is a whole network of people who are invested in seeing you succeed, right from day one.
So who's in your corner? Well, you've got your employer for any day-to-day job questions. You have your training provider, who is your go-to guide for all your learning and getting prepped for the EPA. And once that final assessment kicks off, the EPAO, the assessment organization, will be your main contact. And crucially, if you need any extra support, just know that reasonable adjustments are always available.
So there you have it. That's the entire roadmap for the Level 5 Data Engineer Apprenticeship, from your first day on the job to your final assessment. The only real question left is, are you ready to start building the future?